Hello student, this is Rituparna Sahu, lecturer in Mechanical Engineering from Bose, Cuttack. In the previous class, we discussed about your Porter governor, the construction of Porter governor, the working of Porter governor, and after that we also discussed about the construction of the Proel governor. So, today's class we will start with the working of the Proel governor. I already told you that Proel governor is also a deadweight governor, and it has the extended arms which is connected with your arms, and another end of the extended arm is connected with the fly balls. So, this is your Proel governor. We already discussed about the all these parts of the Proel governor. So, let me again remind you the parts, that is, this is the spindle of the Proel governor which is connected with the engine shaft. Here your engine shaft will be there, and you can see this is the bevel gear which connects the spindle with the engine shaft. Okay. So, these are your arms. One end of the arms are pivoted with the spindle at this point, and these are your links. This is one link, this is another link. One end of the link is connected with the arm at this point, and another end is connected with the sleeve. This is your sleeve. This is your sleeve. Okay. So, from this point, this is your extended arm which is connected with the fly balls. This is the fly ball. Okay. This side also, this is your fly ball. Okay. So, this sleeve is connected with the throttle valve with the help of a bell crank lever, and it operates the mechanism of the fuel flow. Okay. So, this is all about the construction of the Proel governor. We already discussed about the construction part, and let us move towards the working of the Proel governor. Okay. As studied in case of other governors, there are two cases for working, that is, first one when the load on the engine increases, and second one when the load on the engine decreases. So, let us consider the case 1, that is when the load on the engine will decrease. Okay. So, what will happen when the load on the engine will decrease? When the load will decrease, we already studied that the speed on the engine will increase. Okay. So, when the speed on the engine or speed of the engine will increase, your spindle of the governor is connected with the engine shaft with the help of bevel gear. So, due to increase in the speed of the engine, the rotational speed of spindle will also increase, and due to increase in the speed of the spindle, now the governor balls will move in the outward direction, because the centrifugal force on the governor balls will also increase, and due to this movement of the outward movement of the governor ball, the sleeve will move in the upward direction about the spindle, and due to the upward movement of the sleeve, it will activate or activate the mechanism of the closing of the throttle or closing of the throttle valve with the help of the bell crank lever, because since the sleeve is connected with the throttle valve with the help of the bell crank lever, and its upward movement will activate the mechanism of closing of the throttle valve. So, due to the closing of throttle valve, now the supply of fuel or the working fluid will decrease, and due to this decrease in the supply of the working fluid, your speed will also reduce, and our mean speed can be maintained. Okay. So, this is your case 1 when the load on the engine will decrease. Now, come to the case 2, that is when the load on the engine increases. So, what will happen when the load on the engine will increase? When the load on the engine will increase, it will reduce the speed of the engine. Okay. So speed of the engine will reduce. Engine earlier I said in case 1 that engine is connected with the shaft spindle of governor with the help of bevel gear. So due to decrease in the speed of the engine, the rotational speed of spindle will also decrease, and now the centrifugal force on the fly ball will also decrease, and due to the decrease in the centrifugal force on the fly ball, the centrifugal force the fly ball will move in the inward direction, and due to the inward movement of the fly ball, now the sleeve will go downward direction, and this downward movement of the sleeve will operate or it will activate the mechanism of opening of the throttle valve. Since sleeve is connected with the help of bell crank lever to the throttle valve, now it will activate the mechanism of opening of the throttle valve. Due to opening of the throttle valve, the fuel supply will increase, and this increase in the fuel supply will help in increasing the speed of the engine, and hence the mean speed of the engine can be maintained. So this is all about your working of the Proel governor, and in this way your mean speed is maintained in both the cases, that is when load will decrease and when the load will increase. In both cases, in this manner the speed can be maintained. Okay, so this is the functioning or working of your Proel governor. Now come to the relation between your height of the Proel governor and your rotational speed. Okay, so before going into the relation, let me tell you the terminologies which are given in the free body diagram. So this is the diagram of your Proel governor. This is your arm that is denoted by PF and QG. This PF and QG are your arms. This FD and GE are your links. This is the central load whose weight is denoted by W. This is the sleeve. This is the extended arm, that is BF, and this is your fly ball. Okay. This is another extended arm CG. So this is the free body diagram. This diagram shows only one side, only this side of the governor. Okay. So see, here you can see this FC. FC is the centrifugal force that is acting in the outward direction in the fly ball. Okay. So in this fly ball, this FC is shown in here. The weight is the weight of the fly ball. This is the weight of the your central load, and here you can see the beta. Beta is the angle between the link and the vertical axis, and here alpha. Alpha is the angle between your arm and the vertical axis. Okay. So now come to the relation between the height of the governor and your rotational speed. So the relation will become Fm by Bm. So which distance is Fm? Fm is this distance, Fm divided by Bm, from the center of the fly ball up to this end point. This is Bm. So the relation is Fm divided by Bm into m plus m by 2 into 1 plus q divided by m into 895 divided by h. So here this q is also equals to tan alpha divided by tan beta, and when the length of both arm and link will become equal, at that time the value of q will be equals to 1, because tan alpha will become equal with tan beta. So this is the relation between the height of the governor and the rotational speed. So this is all about your Proel governor. Now come to the another type of governor, that is your Hartnell governor. So while we are studying about the classification of governor, I told you that governor is classified into one spring controlled governor also. So this spring controlled governor include the Hartnell governor. So let us study in detail about the Hartnell governor. So scientist named Hartnell in the year 1875 discovered the governor, that is Hartnell governor. So what is the difference between the Hartnell governor and the previously studied Watt governor, Porter governor and Proel governor? First of all, we studied about the difference between Watt governor and Porter and Proel governor, that is there is no central load or dead weight in case of the Watt governor, but there is a central load or dead weight in case of the Porter and Proel governor. Similarly, in case of Hartnell governor, there is no central load or dead weight, and here the downward force is applied with the help of a spring. That means the central load is replaced by a spring in case of the Hartnell governor. So the downward force that is acting on the sleeve is due to the compression of the spring, and here a knot is present which help to control the downward force acting on the sleeve. Okay, that means the downward force that is acting on the sleeve can be changed, and due to this the mean speed of the governor can also be controlled, which is not possible in case of the dead weight governor. So this is the basic difference between your dead weight governor and spring controlled governor. And another difference is that the size of fly ball in case of your Hartnell governor is smaller in comparison to the dead weight governor. Also the size of governor is also smaller in case of the Hartnell governor as compared to the dead weight governor or Porter and Proel governor. So now come to the construction of the Hartnell governor. So the parts of Hartnell governor are, first one is your bell crank lever, second one is your fly ball or governor ball, third one is your spring and knot, I told you about the spring, next is your sleeve, and last one is your frame. So with the help of diagram we will study about the parts. So first one is your bell crank lever. Here you can see this is your bell crank lever, here is your bell crank lever, this is your frame. Okay. So this bell crank lever is connected with the frame, and here it is connected with the sleeve. So you can see there are two arms of the bell crank lever, one is this vertical arm and this is the horizontal arm. So this vertical arm of the bell crank lever is connected with the fly ball. This is your fly ball or the governor ball. Here this is your horizontal arm, it is connected with the sleeve. This is the sleeve and these are the rollers. So the horizontal arm of the bell crank lever is connected with the sleeve and the rollers are present here between the horizontal arm and the sleeve. Okay. So this is the spring. This is the spring which is present between your frame and the bell crank lever. So here is the knot. This knot helps to adjust the compression of the spring, and with the help of this the downward force that is acting on the sleeve can be adjusted, and due to this adjustment we can also adjust the mean speed of the governor. So this spring can be extended or can be compressed, and we can adjust it with the help of this knot. This is your spindle. Here this is the spindle that is connected with the engine shaft. That means when the engine will rotate, the spindle will also rotate. Now this is your sleeve. Sleeve can move up and down in this spindle, and there are two stops are present to limit the movement of the sleeve. Okay. Now sleeve is connected with the throttle valve with the help of this bell crank lever, and it will operate the mechanism of opening and closing of the throttle valve. Okay. So this is all about the construction of the Hartnell governor. Now come to the working. So just we studied about the working of other governors. There are two cases. First one is your when the load on the engine increases, and second one when the load on the engine decreases. So let us start with case 1, that is when the load on the engine decreases. So similar with other governors, when the load on the engine increases, that means your speed on the engine will decrease. Okay. So due to decrease in the engine speed, your spindle of the governor is attached with the engine shaft, so the rotational speed of the spindle will also decrease. Due to decrease in the speed of the spindle, the centrifugal force on the fly ball will also decrease. So due to decrease in the centrifugal force on the fly balls, the fly ball will move in the inward direction. Okay. So now the load on the spring will decrease and it will extend, and the sleeve will move in the downward direction. So due to the downward movement of the sleeve, it will activate the mechanism of opening of the throttle valve, and due to opening of the throttle valve, the fuel flow will increase, and due to increase in the fuel flow, the speed will increase, and in this way our mean speed can be maintained. So this is about case 1 when the load on the engine increases. Now come to the case 2. Case 2 when the load on the engine decreases. So what will happen when the load on the engine decreases? When the load on the engine decreases, you know, the speed will increase. Speed of the engine will increase, and the engine shaft is connected with the spindle of the governor with the help of bevel gear. So due to increase in the speed of the engine, now the rotational speed of spindle will also increase, and this will increase the centrifugal force on the fly balls of the governor. So due to the increase in the centrifugal force, the governor fly balls or governor balls will move in the outward direction, and due to the outward movement of the governor balls, the load on the spring will decrease, and the load on the spring will increase, and it will compress, and so we discussed about the case 1, that is when the load on the engine increases. Now come to the case 2, that is when the load on the engine decreases. So we know that when the load on the engine decreases, that means the speed of the engine will increase. Due to decrease in load, the speed of engine will increase. I already told you that engine shaft is connected with the spindle of the governor with the help of a bevel gear. So due to increase in the speed of the engine, the rotational speed of the spindle or governor spindle will also increase, and the centrifugal force that is acting on the governor balls or the fly balls will also increase. So due to increase in the centrifugal force on the fly ball, the fly ball will start moving in the outward direction, and radius of rotation will also increase. So this will cause the upward movement or upliftment of the sleeve. The sleeve will move in the upward direction and it will cause the or it will activate the closing mechanism of the throttle valve, because throttle valve is connected with the sleeve with the help of a bell crank lever, and due to closing of the throttle valve, the fuel supply or the working fluid supply will also decrease, and this decrease in the working fluid supply will reduce the speed and mean speed can be maintained. So this is all about the working of your Hartnell governor. So for today's class, this is all about your Hartnell governor, and in the next class we will study about the conceptual explanation of the sensitivity, stability and isochronism. Thank you.